Let's see if I can get this to work. Welcome to the wonderful world of Gen X. Doing it a little differently today because my other camera was not behaving. So we are utilizing the computer for my second feed. So we'll see how this goes. Move this out of the way a little. That's better. Got YouTube over here. What's going on, guys? Welcome. See if I can. Bear with me momentarily. Hey, Tamara, what's going on? Dawn. Stacy, how are you? James, hello. There we go. That's better. Sheila, how are you? Sammy, how are you? Cindy, how are you? Kevin, and looks like everybody is coming through. Having a hard time seeing my Facebook comments come in. There we go. Eric, hello. Hey, Joan, what's going on? Sammy, hello. Craig, Go Mafia, what's up? Good evening, Gen X chat crew. What's going on, Kristen? How are you guys, my Gen X Goonies? How are y'all? What is going on? How is your Sunday? Sarah coming in from California. Doreen, Tampa Bay is in the house. Did I get affected by the storms in the south? We had a little bit of storms run through this morning, and there's supposed to be more this evening, but all good for the most part for me. Happy early St. Patrick's Day, Lawrence. Hello, Donna. What's going on, Brian? I see you. Sarah, hello. Like I said, from California. Weather in South Carolina is fine. A little windy. It was a little bit of thunderstorms rolling through this morning, but for the most part, we were kind of okay. Yeah, we have a tornado watch in parts of South Carolina as well. Hey, Sheila Burns Bug, how are you? Ton, how are you? But otherwise, we're holding on. What's going on, Brian? Coming in from... No, I'm sorry, that's Bryson coming in from West Virginia. Tornado weather last night. Yeah, we're supposed to be pretty decent. John suffered through the Blues Brothers, even though you don't like John Belushi. That speaks to the podcast that I'm in, the show that I do with two of my best friends. Just lost me there. Where we talk about three different topics, stemming back to the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s every week. And this week, one of the topics was the Blues Brothers. Hey, Carrie coming in from Mid Hill. An unpopular opinion, unpopular point of view. I've never seen the Blues Brothers. John Belushi, guy's classic. He's an icon. I get it. I saw Animal House. I've seen him do the pimple popping thing. It wasn't a big deal for me. What's going on? Big Dan coming in from Oswego. I wasn't a huge Blues Brothers guy. I actually think I like Jim Belushi maybe even more than John Belushi. I don't know. I was really young when it came out. I was like 10. And I just never, you got to remember 1980, I think Blues Brothers came out. So if I was 10 then, and I didn't see it in the theater, there was such a succession of amazing movies that came out in 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, that it was just tough to catch up. And I just never saw it. I would love the music in Blues Brothers, so I'm told. I just don't know. Facebook's doing funny things. Opinions on Van Halen. Actually, Van Halen was a topic for our 3-View Mirror 2 weeks ago. And we talked about Van Halen versus Van Hagar, and talking about Van Halen versus when Diamond Dave was the front man versus when Hagar was the front man. And I liked both. BJ says Poltergeist was my first 80s movie in the theater. Mindy, I appreciate you. John Belushi was supposed to be Peter Venkman in Ghostbusters before he died. I did hear that. What's going on, Luna? Good to see you. Aretha Franklin, Scatman. Yeah, we went over some of that. And that's, I mean, listen, that's the cool thing of almost every 80s movie, right? It was so ingrained that the movies we watched back then, I've seen Aspen Extreme, believe it or not. The movies we watched back then, it was crucial for them to have a decent soundtrack. You couldn't do one without the other. Probably like the Car Chase and the Blues Brothers. I'm sure I probably would Record Hound. It's just one of those, we all have one of those movies that we didn't see. Hi, Christine. Good to see you. For my buddy Chris, it's he never saw Dirty Dancing. For me, it's Blues Brothers. It took me the longest time to see all of certain movies from front to back. What's going on, Jeffrey Thomas? How are you, my buddy? Fright Night, good movie. The difference between Diamond Dave that we came to a consensus between Van Halen and Van Hagar was that Van Halen under Diamond Dave, David Lee Roth was the penultimate frontman. He was a performer. But when Sammy came along, he had more of an impact on the music. Someone never saw Dirty Dancing. That he never saw it. And like I said, I'm watching in the comments. Someone said I never saw Footloose. Somebody says I won't watch Footloose. It's just we all missed it because there were just so many movies that came at us so quickly that we were bound to miss something. Hey, Kathleen, hi, right back from South Charlotte. I'm over in Indian land, not too far from you, I would guess. Never liked Hagar. I actually did. I'm not saying that. I was reading Big Dan said never liked Hagar. I really did. Where's your other mod? There's a couple that are in there. Kristen, I think, is a mod as well. Let me know if you guys need any help. Pamela says never saw St. Elmo's Fire, and not that, which is also coming out with a sequel. Jim Burt says I've never seen the Goonies. He said, please don't banish me. Dude, you're not alone. And there's a lot of movies that we'll see the movie, but maybe not its entirety. Because if we missed it when it came out in the theater, then we just caught pieces of it. It would come on and it would already be on HBO. So we'd watch it from the middle to the end. Or maybe we'd watch the beginning, but then something would happen and we'd get up and we'd leave and we wouldn't see the end this time. So we saw all of the movie, maybe not from beginning to end. Kevin says, unpopular opinion, I find Scarface boring and won't watch it on purpose. Unpopular opinion, I've never seen any of the Godfather movies and feel like the moment passed me by. I've seen Casino and I've seen Goodfellas. So for me, that's kind of a done deal. I've already seen those kinds of movies. So I don't know. You really can't name just one good 80s movie because they're all good. If not all good, then they all have value, right? Even the bad 80s movies, pretty decent in at least some aspect of it. And then there were some that were so bad that they're good in the fact that they were bad. There's that too. Bronx Tale, good one. Rick Brown coming in from Rome, New York, not far from where I grew up. Love the Dark Crystal. I only watched Godfather because I was watching the Film Registry's Top 100 Movies. I mean, Howard the Duck, Johnny brings up. Horrible movie. Horrible movie, but so bad you had to see it. If you haven't, there's so many amazingly cringeworthy moments in Howard the Duck, and it has a place in pop culture. So just because of its place in pop culture, Popeye the Sailor, I remember seeing it. I love everything about Robin Williams. I remember not loving the movie, but I love him. So it's still all good. I just recently did and got a new video. I was late trying to edit a video out today. I'll let you guys know the latest in the Gen Z saga is now on top of them not really understanding or being given the opportunity to learn how to read cursive. The fact that many of them have a problem with emojis, with the thumbs up, with grammar, with punctuation, with capitalization. Now, apparently, many of them just don't know their months in order. They're having a hard time. They have to count on their fingers to realize that March is the third month of the year. If I say November, they won't know automatically. Thank you so much for the stars, Rick. They won't know automatically that November is the 11th month. And that the big thing on TikTok is a move now for them to move the months to the order that it was meant to be. Because if you look at the way the September should be the 7th month, right? October should be the 8th month. November should be the 9th. And December, DEC, should be the 10th. So they're stuck in this should be world and it confuses them. They can't let things go. And I saw somebody saw analog clocks, forget about it. We know what that does to them. Wirehead popped into the house, I think. Good to see you, my friend. Pamela, I see you. John Osborne, hello. Hello, Ernestine. They can't, no, they can't. And you know what? Listen, I won't throw stones too hard when it comes to Roman numerals. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, even into 20. No problem. But when I look at Super Bowl level Roman numerals, when there's that, when they throw the L and the X and the V, once the L gets involved and you've got C and M, count me out. That's where you lose even me. BJEM says, I met a 36-year-old, didn't know who the Beatles were or Tom Jones. Yeesh. Dude, I made a Fonzie joke not too long ago. Nobody knew who I was talking about. LA says she can do all of the Roman numerals. Well, if you've got the M and the L's and the C's going, it's pretty impressive. Mary, hello. Sherry Kingston, hello. Guys, there is a subscription link on Facebook. Facebook is pushing out a big push on subscriptions right now. I've got a subscriber goal on Facebook of 250. We're currently at 220 subscribers. There's a link there if you choose of your own free will on Facebook to subscribe. For benefit of subscribing, you have access to a private Facebook group that's just the 220 of us. It's kind of like the elite. Well, not really. There's nothing elite about us. But the cool part is that you guys get to post in there, and I get to see what you post. And I do enjoy that part of it. Now on YouTube, you guys have the X-Coast Avengers and all those things. Yeah, it's low on the Facebook side. YouTube tends to do better on the joining. But when we say subscribe on Facebook, it's subscribe as in pay 99 cents a month. What's going on, Nicole? There's a 99 cents a month charge to subscribe on Facebook, which gets you access to that. Now on YouTube, joining is the way they call it for a charge, and that you're going to have access shortly to different types of videos. But there's the commercial I was supposed to put out. I can click that I've done it, and Facebook will leave me alone now. For now. I grew up around an analog clock with Roman numerals. Yeah, Record Hound, I got the 1 through 12, no problem. That's easy enough for me. It's when we get the bigger ones that I can't do it. Somebody just subscribed. Damn. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. I can't thank you enough for your support. I mean, I can. I just did. I thank you that much. What else we got, guys? Terry says, I love your content. It brings back so many great memories. You know, that's the other thing. I'm trying very hard to make sure that I balance the nostalgia stuff with the trying to be relevant in today's, like actually talking. Thank you so much, Stephen. I appreciate you. Some of my stuff is straight nostalgia, remembering the styrofoam on the Pepsi bottles that we would peel off in spirals and then stuff back into the bottle. Little weird, quirky things like that. Winona, thank you for the stars. Other stuff I'm doing is just reacting to how kids are today versus how we were then. And I'm just wondering how it all plays to you guys. You guys that come on these lives, you know, the thousands of you that watch this are truly the ones that really know what is it that I'm putting out there. Amanda says that's exactly what made me subscribe to your YouTube channel. What was the mix of it or one or the other? Because I'm trying very hard to have different types of content. So there's the reacting to stuff, there's the nostalgia stuff, there's just the talking about how different things are today, and then even the lists of things. Any diet advice? What's my YouTube? All of my platforms have the same hashtag. If you just look up GenX, Jono is one word, GenX, JONO, You'll find me across any and all platforms. Don't use AIDS. Yeah, that's for those wondering, that's AIDS, AIDS. I did just put out a video this week about 80s era diet stuff and how mothers were giving primarily it was a girl thing. You girls got diet stuff pushed on you hard in the 80s. Not just working out, but Dexatrim and Fen-Phen, which was basically just speed. Am I 53, good or bear? I'm actually 55. What's going on, Chad? Ron, thank you so much for the stars. Stars Party Challenge is started. My audience has been challenged to send stars in the next 5 minutes. Okay, thank you for that. Somebody activated a stars party. This is crazy. Dexatrim is the 80s Ozempic. It was all speed, though, Wire. All of it was speed, and they were giving speed to a generation of kids, of adults, of people that were already hopped up on speed to begin with. The 80s was the decade of accelerants. Everyone was drinking coffee, but on top of it, we had Jolt Cola, we had Mountain Dew, we had, what were the mini thins Christine mentions? There was, guys, thank you so much. Mini thins, Vivarin, Revive with Vivarin, No-Dose. We were hopped up as it was anyway, and that just made things worse. And someone mentioned AIDS, AIDS, which was a chocolate candy. And it was literally out before the immune disease AIDS, but they never changed the name. They thought that the AIDS would kind of go away, so they didn't see a need to change their name. So at the end of my most recent video, you literally hear a woman saying, I was 47 pounds overweight and AIDS helped me lose it. Didn't age well. Joan said I did none of the diet shit. I played all the sports possible. And a lot of people, boys and girls, both did. But the other side of it is I knew girls that were amazingly active in sports, that played soccer, followed by track, that did everything, and they were always bigger girls. I don't know the metabolistic side of it. I'm not a doctor, but in some cases, it's just is what it is. And then the other part of it, somebody else mentioned Ritalin. You know, I think our generation, and they say our exposure to lead early, lead in gasoline, lead in paint, lead all over the place, meant that we actually had more of a spike in things like attention deficit hyperactivity disorder than kids today do. And the way we dealt with it, we weren't really being taken by most of our parents to see doctors. God forbid they take us to see a psychiatrist. I think we all learned to self-medicate with as much caffeine as possible. To this day, I take a cup of coffee before going to bed at night, and it settles me down. Thank you guys again for the stars over on Facebook. We are 43% through the Stars Party Challenge. Yay. I remember they came out with chewing gum for those who wanted to quit smoking. They sold White Crosses at the truck stops and sold them to any. Hey, Maddie Gordon, there you are. When we were kids, there was only Ritalin. Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, I made a video where I talked about teacher. I thought it was only my school. We had a teacher, Mrs. Henry, literally tied a kid to the desk. She strapped him to his own desk using his belt and this other kid's belt. She literally belted him to the chair because he couldn't sit still. And I got the amount of comments that I got that their teachers also tied kids down to their chairs was amazing. My parents wouldn't take me to the hospital when I had a 107-degree fever. Barely took us to the hospital when we were seriously hurt. These days, we're all hyperexposed to microplastics and everything. Facts. ADD didn't exist. We were just called hyper kids. And they threw us at sports. And, you know, thank you, Bobby Durden. I appreciate it. I was diagnosed when my daughter was diagnosed. When my daughter was diagnosed ADHD. And in girls, it looks a little different. Girls with ADHD tend to fade into the back of the classroom because their inability to focus embarrasses them. So instead of raising their hand to ask a question because they missed something, they tend to get quiet. They don't draw attention to themselves. It's almost the polar opposite of what boys look like. So it took us a while to figure out what was going on with her. Kathleen just nailed it. Kathleen says I was called the daydreamer. That's what happens with the girls. The girls get labeled chatty or daydreamers. A good whack from my dad always cured me. But when we went in to take my daughter to see someone, because that's what our generation does, the doctor said, well, you can always talk to your dad about different coping mechanisms. And I looked at the guy like he was nuts. I'm like, well, why would she? I mean, I'm very well read. I'm a highly intelligent person, is the way I took it. And I'm like, yeah, I've done some research on it. He goes, well, no, but I figure you can help her. How do you cope with your ADHD? The guy pegged me instantly. Like, second appointment that came out. No worries, life. I was late to the party as well today. Go Bills. I had a second grade teacher insist my name was Ronald, says Ron. It is not. Dude, the amount of teachers who would call me Jonathan and were adamant that my name was Jonathan, and it's not. My full-ass legal name is John, John. That's it. Baptized, my Greek name is Ioannis or Yanni, but in no way was it ever Jonathan. And I had teachers tell me that too. Kristen says, you drink coffee at night before bed. So, yeah, but I didn't know that was an ADHD thing until recently. I had no clue. I've always been self-medicating with caffeine. Go Cubs. Got my Cubbies hat's downstairs. I got put in a corner because I talk too much. We had a second grade teacher give kids nasty nicknames. Oh, that's true. I love coffee to this day. I can have it any time of day, but if I don't have it at night, I can't sleep. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Katina. Guys, thank you again for the stars. I think ADHD is a superpower. I teach my Kathleen, that's awesome. Kathleen O'Neill Pike says there's a positive side to most things. And that's a big part of what we learned growing up. That the dorky, smart kid, the brainy kid had the brains, the athletic kid had the athleticism. You should try fentanyl, much better than coffee. Mike Smith, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate the $10 donation. I appreciate the tip, dude. Born in 68, thoroughly enjoy your stuff. I appreciate your support, buddy. Thank you so much. First super chat of the night. Thank you so, so much. You guys make it possible for me to do this more and more often. 2025 and for sure 2026, if things keep going the way they're going, is going to look so different. A lot more, if you guys are prone to pop culture conventions, nostalgia conventions, like I went and saw Breakfast Club cast at MegaCon. I'm hoping that as this platform grows, I can afford more and more time on the road. June, I'm hoping to be able to get out to Oregon to make some content at the Goonies house for the 40th anniversary of the Goonies. Stuff like that, I think, will be a lot of fun and just substantially change the level of nostalgia I'm able to bring. So thank you guys for supporting me and the page and allowing me to do that. Michelle says I can drink coffee anytime. Perkins after a night of drinking. Oh, dude, we would do one of two things when we would go out. Haley Bob says, I don't like you. Well, okay. Not for everybody, I guess. We would go either to the little dive diners after a night of drinking, or we would hit the Perkins. And it just depended on the friend group that we were in. If we went to the dive diner, the old Greek guy would kick us out as soon as we were done eating. The goal there was for him to get us up and out of our seats to give it to someone else. Perkins was an almost all morning thing. With Perkins, if we went to Perkins after drinking, we really needed time to sober up, and we would sit there and drink coffee for like 2-3 hours sometimes. Lori, thank you so much for the stars. Haley, rude much? It's all good. Partying was such a part of our lives that's really not as much a part of these kids' lives today. Big Dave K with $5 tip saying, quick subject change. Can we give a moment of silence for all the episodes, if you can't do that, on television that got lost in a fire? Dude, there's so much that's gone now. There's that. Great topic to switch to. There's also all of the MTV articles and things that were housed over at MTV.com. Paramount just wiped all those out last year. All gone. Now, that doesn't mean every MTV episode's gone. Those are stored differently, but any of the articles written, any of the stories that were pushed out on the platform of MTV.com is gone. I don't understand how somebody doesn't think that stuff's worthy of archiving. At least the fire is an accident. The MTV thing was intentional. Thank you, Terry. The MTV thing was intentional. It was a dollar decision. It's not worth spending money to preserve this stuff. Which, go figure, it's important to our generation, so it's not worth maintaining. That kind of makes sense. Tammy Elaine, hello. Kane says, enough talk. You all know that Gen Z is the product of Gen X, for crying out loud. Kane, what's your point? I've got Gen Z kids. They're awesome. There's no issue with anything they do. They're the product of their times. But like any kid, I think it's kind of ironic that anybody would blame the kids on the parents, because especially without the threat of capital or near capital punishment, the kids don't listen after a certain point. Because let's face it, when we were 20, we knew better. But the one thing that was different about us is, although we might have thought we knew better than our parents, we also were raised in a society that told us that we needed to keep our mouths shut. Society was telling us to be quiet because the adults are in the room talking. Now society at large, whether it's an agenda that's out there, whether it's just a change in the way things are, I don't lay blame corporal punishment. The joke was capital punishment, because I thought my parents, Bob, could literally take me out. They brought me into this world. They could absolutely take me out. So when I said capital punishment, I kind of meant it. Exactly. We were to be seen and not heard. So when we talk about any fault that we have with Gen Z, if there is one, it's that we might have overcorrected, that we wanted Generation Z. We wanted our kids to be heard. We wanted them to feel that they had the ability to speak up, to tell us how they felt, to tell us their feelings. We just didn't mean all of the feelings all of the time ad nauseum. There's a limit. There comes a time when it's like, okay, now it's time to just, you don't feel well. You're depressed. You're upset. You're sad. You've had a bad day. You're having a bad month. I get all of that. Now go to work and pretend you're not having a bad day. Because sometimes you don't show your feelings just because you're feeling them. That was just different. And that's societal. I don't think it's parental. Now social media is Gen X finally being seen and heard. And I think that's a big part of Gen Z is, if anything, if there's any, and listen, like we said earlier, there are good things to everything. Gen Z has some amazing things that their generation will do. Telling time, probably not one of them. But they will do some incredible things. And any gap that exists in their education, here's the thing, life will fill in the gaps. Life is an impartial and unfair educator. Life will teach them whatever we may not have, could not have, chose not to. We may have tried to protect them from some things. Life doesn't care. I got a Gen Alpha kid, but I'm the mom who yells at the kids. Dude, I get you. The yelling, sometimes my wife thinks that the neighbors must think God knows what we're doing in our house, because we're yellers. We're Greek. We're just loud. I don't have an inside voice. We yell. Richard Gatto says, pack your feelings way down deep. Yeah, I mean, so when we look at the law of unintended consequences, if Gen X is the whatever generation that utilizes apathy as a superpower, it's because our parents told us, don't think about it so much. Ignore it. Don't worry about it. Put it away. Just let it go for right now. That was our advice. So we did. We're like, all right, I'm going to put it away. I'll pack it down. I'll stuff it down. Whereas we, I think, I can speak for me, told my kids, talk to me. Definitely, Maddie. Talk to me. Tell me what's going on. Let me see if I can help. Let me see if I can be there for you. If nothing else, tell me how you feel so you can get it out. But man, once you turn that faucet on, Stacy says they need to learn to filter some things. So a video that I'm working on right now talks about the expression to speak my truth. And I think a lot of what's happened is that expression, that social media has given a lot of people, kids in general, specifically, I should say, a voice. And that voice allows them to feel like they have their truth. When we learned that truth was an objective thing. What's going on, Cynthia? It's not subjective. You don't have your truth. You have your opinion. You have your perspective. You have your experience. You have your thoughts. You have your feelings. Not us. We don't have those feelings, but they do. They don't have their own truth. The truth is objective, not subjective. But the world told them that they're entitled to it. They're entitled to this sense of, this is what I think should be the way the world should be. And this is the truth. And this is what's fair. And this is what I'm striving for. And I've seen it in the comments a million times on both sides that suck it up. It's not. That's not what the world is. Elizabeth says, I absolutely hate that my truth bullshit. And I'm hearing it. It took a break. It disappeared for a minute. And now, like, my entire feed is people talking about not only do they have their truth, now they're speaking their truth. No, you're giving your opinion. And you all know what they say about opinions, right? So it's not your truth, it's your opinion, and we've all got one. Brian Nee says they often play the victim. I don't like to hit them with a they in the victim card because we'll play the roles that we're assigned. And again, social media and society at large, victimization has its place. There are true victims in this world. So I don't like to throw that out, although your point is well made. But when everyone's a victim, then nobody is. When everybody is special, then nobody is. And our parents told us early and often we weren't that special. Oh, my journey. Elizabeth says, my journey. What's going on, Robert Bryson? Thank you, Steve Moreau. Yeah, I made a video of things our parents never told us. And near the top of the list, somebody put it perfectly. They said, I told my parents I wanted to be X, Y, or Z. And they said, well, why don't you shoot for being a ditch digger first and see how it goes from there? Our parents were they didn't knock us down necessarily. Mine didn't knock me down necessarily, but they kept my aspirations in perspective, in proper perspective. If I told them this is what I wanted to do, didn't even exist back then. But if I said anything about something along these lines, they're like, well, make sure you have something practical to back it up. Make sure you know how to dig a ditch. Make sure you know how to build something. Make sure you stay with something practical to pay the bills. Kids today are overprotected by helicopter parents. My wife is a teacher and it's scary. Do you know that according to a recent study, over 20% of young adults under the age of 27, so we're talking Gen Z, take a parent with them to job interviews. Now, they're not always allowed in the job interview, but they're there. They're in the office. 20% bring a parent with them to the job interview. Parents take the day off. Whether or not the parent is in there or not, the fact remains parents are taking the time to be with their adult child at the job interview. That statistic blew my mind. That's broken. Herma Bombeck wrote, just wait till you have children of your own. How wildly raising children has changed, trying to placate children instead of teaching hard lessons. And it's going to keep changing. And the pendulum will keep swinging and will keep moving and keep missing the mark. Brooke says, I'm borderline Gen X. If that's confusing enough, currently I stand up for myself. I never say I'm speaking my truth. I'm old enough to speak up. I like that, Brooke. I love that I still work. I bartend 3 nights a week, about 20 hours a week right now. And I work with kids 18 to whatever. And I interact with them closely. You'll see them on my videos. If they think that I'm making fun of them, they wouldn't make these videos with me. But they love that I'm able to point out these differences with them. And then when they don't get something, we talk about it after. When they didn't understand what the Challenger was, what the Berlin Wall was, we talk about it after, and that's fun. What's going on, Chipmunk?
Are you on live or?
I'm on live.
Oh, this is cool.
Yeah, I've got YouTube over here and Facebook over here.
Oh, it's inverted.
Is it inverted? Mirrored. This one's mirrored is what you're saying. This is my daughter, Cleo.
Inverted is the same thing.
Is it? Okay. I was raised not by baby boomers, but the greatest gen. Richard, was it the greatest or the silent gen? Because the silent's in between there. So 1927 to 1945 would be the silent generation. Those were my parents, and they were, without a doubt, brutal in the best way possible. I will tell you that my parents. What is going on?
It was fine before.
No, it stopped. There we go. Spring break, Cleo. They took away days from summer vacation for them this year, so their last summer vacation was short by about 3 weeks. By about a week, 2 weeks.
I don't know.
They cut it by 2 weeks, and they give them 4-day weekends that the teachers requested for just some extra time off throughout the week. So she's off tomorrow, and she was off Friday, and then spring break is around Easter.
Or like any days off, like extra days off.
Yeah, they just give them a little more extra days, which I didn't agree. I don't like that. Michael Kunmuli says Tikanis Cleo.
Good.
I like long summer vacations for our kids. Cleo's Kleo because we're Greek and there is no C in the Greek alphabet. They were born in 21 and 24. So 21 technically would be greatest. 24? Probably you nailed it. They are greatest. Right on the border.
This is weird.
I see she's wearing flash dance inspired top. Absolutely. No apologies needed. She has to wear green for St. Patrick's Day without a doubt. Jody says hello, Cleo. My parents didn't even know I had job interviews or when I had them. My daughter's growing fast. Every now and then I'll put some. So she's the reason I started social media. When I took time away from work as a corporate bank manager, we just started playing around on TikTok, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at some of the earliest, silliest videos, she's like 9 in them. Anyone wants to lie about their age to get their first job? I'll go you one better, Julie. I didn't even have to. I was 12 when I first started working. In New York, I think you needed to be 14 to get your working papers. And at 12, I grew up in a small town. They paid me off the books. Love the co-dance TikTok.
What is that?
I can see. Yeah, I enjoyed being at the bank, but I hated management. It got ridiculous towards the end. What is co-dance? Where we dance together in a couple of the different videos. Mm-hmm. My parents didn't know I joined the Marines till after I signed the contract. That's insane. I was having an argument or a discussion, I guess I should say, with somebody on another platform the other day. I was explaining how the selective service, the draft, is still a requirement for the vast majority. Yes, that's exactly how. Brian Neese, good job, Cleo. The vast majority of men are expected to sign up for selective service within 6 months, I think it is, of their 18th birthday. It's still a law. Most young men, if you ask them, aren't doing it. They're not being reminded they're supposed to do it. They're just not doing it. And somebody came in and said it's no longer a law and that we have an all-volunteer army, which he's not wrong. We do have an all-volunteer army. However, selective service registration is still a law in case that changes. Exactly, Christopher.
What does that say about we drafted? What does it say?
Where, honey? Which one?
Chris.
It's but not drafted. Yeah, you sign up for registration. Currently, there is no active draft. But they're not signing up at all. And they don't even know what it is. They don't remember what. See, we never were drafted. We saying GenX. Vietnam was the last war with an active draft. And what that means, Cleo, is that families would sit in their living room. And on the news, they would do like a lottery where they would pull numbers.
Yeah.
And if they pulled your number, that meant you had to go fight in the war.
Yeah, that's like Hunger Games.
Okay, very much like Hunger Games. Yeah. Yes. But it was a real thing. And families would just be in the living rooms petrified that their kid's number is going to get called. Now, that didn't happen to us, but we grew up in the shadow of it. The 90s Gulf War. was exactly, Mike. I remember thinking, will they bring back the draft if this goes long? It was insane.
Which is scary because Hunger Games is based on like the future.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if it could happen, anything could happen. But I've got a 13-year-old that understands it, and there was a 21-year-old arguing with me. Oh, Pamela, there's no worries there. This Is Us shows a good example of it too. Yes.
This inverted thing is so weird.
Really doesn't bother me.
How is it just automatically on? Can you turn it off? Because it's like.
Doesn't bother
Can
me.
you turn it off? That's
Why?
really bothering me.
Why is it bothering you?
I look so weird in this. Oh my gosh.
Probably being conscripted would be worse, John, for me. Because if I'm drafted, at least I'm fighting for my country, right? But that's the other thing. I mean, people didn't. World War II, it was almost like they didn't need to be drafted. People saw a. Cleo, your perspective is brilliant.
Thank you.
People saw a need. They were proud. We've lost that. And I don't know if there can you teach patriotism? I don't know that you can teach it, but we had it. I remember being a little kid in 1976. I was 6 during the bicentennial. Do you guys remember that? I remember marching in parades as a I got you, Luna, no problem. I remember marching in parades as a Cub Scout and being able to carry the flag, and right or wrong, naive or nationalistic, whatever you want to call it, fine. But I was proud. I had national pride. I had patriotism. To this day, if I hear a really good rendition of the national anthem, and I've got my hand over my heart, I tear up a little bit. My parents, who came to this country in search of a better life and had to get sponsored and had to wait in line and had to work and do so much to get here, they love this country and they raised us that way. And I don't know, maybe the country doesn't deserve it now. Maybe it's gone because, politicians are bad people, but I never wanted to mistake my country for my politicians. Patriotism is lost in today's society. Military brat, was patriotic, tried to join myself. Bicentennial was amazing. And we're like, what's the next big thing for that? Do we have to be around for 2076? That's a lot. We wore red, white, and blue in school for dance festivals. Fireworks that year were awesome. They were.
Do you cry when I sing the national anthem?
This one's saying that, see, and let me, I'm in a small town now, sort of, here in the Carolinas. And she sang the national anthem twice last year. Once at the baseball game, once at the dodgeball game, right? Where was the third time? Dodgeball?
And the autism awareness.
And the autism awareness,
Actually,
3
the
times.
Shirt is from actually.
Yep. Yeah, she sang the national anthem 3 times so far. And I mean, as a dad, I don't get much prouder than that. 250 years will be a celebration. Okay, that's cool. Kimmy says, good quote. I never want to mistake my country for my politicians.
Oh,
thank you. I was an 80s baby, wasn't quite here yet. I was little, but it was a big deal. It was the 200th anniversary of our country, which is nothing. I remember my mom coming in from Greece and immigrating here from Greece, a country with thousands of years of history, and being like, it's 200. Does she know all the words? Not only does she know all the words, national anthem.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Ron, you're right. Not only does she know all the words, but she sang it a cappella. And
Nice.
stop diminishing it. She's like, it wasn't hard.
What was that?
Somebody sent stars. Thank you, Dale, for the stars.
I thought it was the water bottle.
Singing a cappella for that song was just incredible.
It sounded better with the acoustic.
Wasn't fond of being forced to say the pledge every day. It didn't bother me at all. It didn't do much of anything. It just became the norm. Did she sing the entire poem? No, just the first verse, really, because the game had to get going. Bicentennial quarter, yes.
What do you mean the first verse?
There's the national anthem has more than one verse.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Hey, Mickey. What's going on, Andrew Bradford, Goonie boy?
don't know.
This is paperclip, huh?
I don't know what's from.
What it's from? Probably was up there holding something. So cute that she's hanging out with me. Both my girls are. I'm very much a girl dad.
Oh my god.
What pumpkin?
I don't open some first.
What do you want them to? What do you want to open?
The Big League Chew.
She wants at my Big League Chew.
I want it so bad. It's so good.
GenX in Australia.
This is like the only bubblegum I can chew bubble.
I've got a big thing of Big League Chew back there, but I only have one, and I don't want to open it.
But you can get these anywhere.
Well, when you get another pack, then you can open that one.
Why can't you just get another one?
What's going on, Big Dave? What you got there? Sorry if I answered this already. Have you been to Greece? I've been to Greece many times as a kid. They haven't. And I want to take her and her sister and her mom.
We are going.
We're going this summer in July. And so there will be, how are you coming in from Iran? Good to see you, Amani. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. What's going on, Short and Sassy? So we're going back this summer. So you will see.
My show on Sunday? What's your show?
This show.
But it says Cleo needs to be part of your show on Sunday.
So every Sunday you need to be part of the show. You get it now?
I get it now.
You get it now.
I understand it.
You understand it now. So yeah, we'll be making some content from Greece for about 3 weeks in July. Do we burn Hollywood if they screw up the Goonies? I am so not to say that I'm nervous is a little bit of an overstatement. I'm excited to see the original cast back together again. I think that's cool. I'm excited to see the original cast back together again for St. Elmo's Fire. They're doing that one over again too, as an update. I am worried that they're going to screw it up. Greece is very hot in July. Yeah, but we're in Charlotte, so it's going to be hot here too. Greece must be wonderful. Is it all blue there? Parts of it are.
See, how does it know I'm over here?
How does what know you're over here? You're on my left-hand side, so this is...
But the camera's pointing at you.
It's a wide-angle camera.
I don't like this. make it like uninverted. Like,
just focus here.
No, because then, look at...
Look at what?
This way. I'm turning... This is my left. Into
Oregon, I'm very excited about, Laura.
Like, how do you turn it off?
I'm surprised you never had a son, and would you and your wife like to have had a son? So, a little bit of back history with us. Cleo and her older sister are 8 years apart. In the 8 years between them, my wife miscarried, or we had preterm losses, about 8 of them, 2 of which were little boys. And that's what took us so long to have a second child. Now, my wife just kept going into labor at about 20 weeks, 21 weeks. So we weren't able to maintain a full pregnancy. They put her on bed rest with a cervical stitch for Cleo. Finally, the insurance finally paid after so many losses for that. And even so, she was born. My wife was only 25 weeks pregnant when Cleo was born. 1 pound, 12 ounces. So she was in the NICU for 72 days. So we would have loved a son, but I'm just really blessed that we have our 2 daughters. Do you think your Greek will be sufficient to communicate? Definitely. My wife and I are both fluent.
I can't relate.
And we're taking my mom with me as well. And my mom is obviously very fluent.
I've been trying Duolingo. Duolingo's failing me.
She is a miracle baby. They all are. They're all miracles. It was hard, but we were blessed that we had my older daughter home. So whenever we suffered the loss of the pregnancy, we didn't come home to an empty house. I love my mama too. What?
That, I was confused because it's not.
What is my favorite Greek food? I like dolmades a lot. I like spanakopita a lot.
What is tomate?
Dolmades are the grape leaves with the rice inside.
I figured. I hate them. I like...
I will be doing lives from Greece, Sharon.
I'm Maltese.
What's
Oh my gosh, I
Maltese?
can't
Okay,
read.
why
This is
can't
like-
you read?
Oh my gosh, this is actually like...
New Yorkers call gyros. Oh, gyros, yeah.
LOL loves them. Love those.
What is wrong with you?
Okay.
Your boys are 18 years apart? That's crazy. Same. Oh, yeah, Cleo's doing Duolingo for Greek, trying baklava. I'll tell you a quick story with baklava. When I was a kid, you remember how everybody would bring in food when we were kids for our birthday. So when it was your birthday in grade school, you would show up with cookies for the class or brownies for the
no,
class or
I didn't know
cake for the class. You would show up with whatever it was. So for me, my mom didn't know how to bake brownies. She didn't know how to bake cookies. And she wasn't going to, can I fit in your suitcase? Pastizio is very good, Michael. She didn't know how to make any of that stuff. So she made what she knew how to make. And one year she made kadaifi, which is a very like it's a Greek dessert with shredded wheat and honey. Another year she made baklava. And you got to understand the 8-year-old kids in class didn't want anything to do with it. But she did this in my kindergarten class. She did it in my first grade class. By second and third grade, I would show up with a pan of whatever Greek delicacy my mom made, and my teacher would be waiting with brownies or with cookies or with cupcakes. And they would literally just say, okay, we're going to give the class cupcakes. And then they took the Greek dessert into the teacher's lounge. Cleo, you're gorgeous. Miss your smiling face. I love seeing you here with your dad. It's Miss Danielle.
Oh no, I'm done.
So, Miss Danielle, our neighbor. She moved, but on the other side of the. You
What?
say hi.
Hi. Oh my gosh, no, you have to remind me. I know that name.
Of course you do.
What?
Phyllo, honey, and pistachios are my favorite Greek. Danielle, we have to get together this summer. You'll have to come by. I hope the kids are doing well. I hope you're doing well. Now we all would love some baklava. My daughter's 35 Irish twins. That's funny. I'd like to see a St. Elmo's Fire movie that was about Rick Hansen. It'll be interesting to see how they bring back St. Elmo's Fire with so much time having gone by. The characters, see where they're at, how they're doing. It'll be cool. Andrew, I am so sorry. Andrew says, miss my son. He's gone now, 22 years. We lost our nephew, my wife's sister's son, was in his early 20s. And I just, being that close to it was hard enough. I can't imagine. You remember Xavier and Alyssa? Miss Danielle. Her son.
Oh my gosh, I was like...
Okay, Danielle, absolutely. She just took her a moment.
I was like, I know.
I relate. Do you guys remember being kids and the adults? Nothing made my blood run cold than an adult saying, "Do you remember me?"
Yes, exactly. And then I'm like, yeah.
Baklava sin fantasticos. The baklava is fantastic. Yes, Brian. Nice job with the keyboard. You are literally making Cleo look silly. I am not.
What? What is that supposed to be?
I don't know.
Oh, because I didn't remember.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Greatest fear was losing another baby. Finally got my miracle at 45. Wonder if anyone dies in the new St. Elmo's Fire.
Oh, also, someone said
My Greek is good. It takes I never went to Greek school, so when people write in Greek and I read it, that's self-taught. I just didn't like my parents being able to write something down and have me not get it, so I learned on my own.
Yeah, I forget. Somebody said,
we all did. We all forgot. And that's what I used to hate that. I used to be as a kid. I'm like, it's so unfair for you to ask me. If you're an adult and you realize that I'm 6 and I haven't seen you in 3 years, I haven't seen you for half my life. So don't ask. Assume I don't know who you... Hell, I'm an adult now. And I don't remember who people are. My wife thinks there's something like early onset something, because I won't remember people that she swears to God I've seen like 1,000 times. I'm like, oh, I don't know them. It's so I can't imagine how bad it is for a kid. I don't want Hollywood to redo the Goonies or the Gremlins. They're redoing it. You're right. And I do want them to redo it. I just want them to do it right. Andrew Michael, good evening. I remember when redone Footloose in 2011. That's a redo. I don't like that. Let me rephrase it. I don't like when they remake our movies. I do, however, like Maverick. I do like when because I had no problem with Back to the Future 2 or 3. I like when they give us sequels and we revisit the characters we love by the same cast. I just don't want them to screw it up. Congratulations, Tammy, on the birth of another granddaughter. God bless her. What? Is it still the thing that's messing you up?
Yes, oh my gosh, no, please take it
I don't
off.
know how to, Cleo.
I'll figure it out
So-
for you. I'll look it up right now. I promise
So you didn't
you.
grow up like the movie My Big Fat Greek Wedding? I absolutely did, because that's how everybody grew up. That's a Greek family. Loud, obnoxious, in our faces, in everybody's business. The difference was that I married a Greek woman. So my Big Fat Greek Wedding was my Big Fat Greek Wedding on both sides.
It says she's going to go cross-eyed.
She's gonna go
I
cross-eyed.
can read that.
So what happens is YouTube, when you guys are looking, is this backwards? Because when we see it, this looks backwards to me.
I can't do this anymore.
But on Facebook, they're automatically mirroring it, so I see it the way you are all seeing it. And it's just messing her up.
It's better this way. Like I just look so.
Oh, so it is backwards to you guys. Well, maybe I can fix that one too, Cleo.
No, thank you.
Why? That way they'd both be the same.
Very funny.
I flip it all the time usually.
Well, please take it off, because if you can flip it on here, then why can't
I
you
don't
flip
know
it
how
back?
to flip it on here. I don't usually have Facebook on the computer.
I'll look it up. Don't worry. I'll save you. I'll save you. Be right back.
Oh, we are very much like Italians. Cobra Kai was a fantastic way. I will say Cobra Kai lost me in the last few seasons until the very end. It stopped being Cobra Kai and started being Miyagi-Do. And I was watching it for Cobra Kai. We've already seen Miyagi-Do. Miyagi-Do was Karate Kid. If you guys haven't seen the last 4 or 5 episodes of Cobra Kai, go back to it. It ended beautifully. They gave us Cobra Kai again. Yeah, Facebook has it right, but that's what's driving her nuts, is that it's flipping it. So when I raise this hand, it's showing me raising it. You were so used to looking at mirrors. Italian and Greek town where my friends and I hung out. I will tell you, growing up, our generation assimilated. We were the generation that being different, for lack of a better term, was not a good thing. We wanted, for most of us, we wanted to look the same. We wanted to act the same. We wanted to acclimate. What did we call it? We called it fitting in. We wanted to fit in with everybody else. So in my school, that meant we wore Levi's, not Lee jeans. If you came in wearing Wranglers, that wasn't so good. We assimilated with all that. We bowed to peer pressure, I guess, but we felt comfortable assimilating. We felt comfortable looking like one another. And I think to a point we still kind of do. Whereas today, yeah, Jill, exactly. We wanted to blend in. We didn't really want to stick out. There was even that expression, right? Sticking out like a sore thumb. Big Dave says, I never fit in, but that's fine. Fitting in to a point, right? It didn't mean completely losing any sense of individuality, but we did, for the most part, conform. Today, it's so different. Everybody's so individualistic, almost to a point the other way. I felt comfortable blending in. I didn't want to stick out in any way. David says I fit in with the outcasts. Well, and that's just it. So, yes, you can be an outcast and still fit in with your peer group, whatever that peer group is. We found the group that we ended up getting involved with. And even if it's the group that I fit in with was the group that didn't fit in, well, then I fit in with the group that didn't fit in. Yep, Ralph Macchio will be in the new movie. I was lucky I was right in the middle. I wasn't a nerd jock. That was me. I was kind of in the middle. I started out really nerdy, really brainy, looked the part, thick glasses. I met Elizabeth Shue at MegaCon. Really sweet. I looked the part. I was a dork. And then my sophomore, junior year, things started to change for me. And I started to fit in a lot more closely. Christopher says, I don't care to fit in. And yet, guys, we are fitting in, right? This is fitting in. What we're doing right now, we're all individuals for sure. But we're coming together and talking about shared experiences and shared memories, things we loved. This is us fitting in.
Okay. Is this Facebook Live?
Will you stop?
No, I'm not
It's only
joking.
another 10 minutes.
I'm not joking.
It's
Is this
Facebook Live on the computer, yes.
Well, it's...
On the phone, it'll mirror. Here, it won't.
And there you go.
Why is she still talking?
Our farmers' kids wore Wranglers. What are you doing? Yeah, on the phone, honey. This is a phone version, not a. It's different. You know what kills me? The other thing, they're not as tech savvy as we are.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
Yeah, kids today are not as tech savvy as we are.
See, what does that mean? Like computer, like technical stuff? I'm
Yes.
not as good at. Okay.
When we need to do something to fix it, we tend to dive in. We tend to start pushing buttons and clicking here and clicking there and figuring it out. And if we can't, that's when we'll go to the card catalog. That's when we'll do our research. That's when we will go and look things up on YouTube. But our first instinct isn't to run right over to YouTube and look things up. It's to start clicking and seeing where we can find things. And it freaks kids out when I start clicking. The computers at work won't work. Something will happen with our POS system. And I'll just start pushing buttons and start clicking things. And they're like, do you know what you're doing? I'm like, I'll figure it out.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, Don.
Mm-hmm. Did you call me old?
No, I was reading someone's name. So you're saying their name is old?
Oh, O'Donna.
Yeah, O'Donna.
It bothers her why torture herself.
Well,
because I want her next to me.
It doesn't hurt to try.
Doesn't hurt to try. 10th anniversary of graduation wasn't nearly as fun as our 20th. I was popular with the most popular and least popular kids, same. But that's it. We're problem solvers. We had to. Because when a teacher said to us, Cleo, if you don't know how to spell something, how do you figure it out?
Syllables?
No, I mean, if you really don't know how to spell it.
I figure it out by myself.
Well, what do you use?
A dictionary?
You don't use a dictionary.
Yes, I do.
What do you use?
I don't have my phone in school. I'm not allowed to.
You're not allowed to?
No.
So what do you use in school?
A dictionary.
You get up and use a dictionary?
Yeah, she has little books with dictionaries.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, that's a good thing.
Yeah, I guess it's so boring.
It's so, but you know what? Yes, but the act of getting up and walking over and opening the book and looking it up will make you remember it.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's how you remember. I thought she was going to say she uses her phone, but here in South Carolina, there is now a statewide law that kids are not allowed access to phones throughout the school day. So when she gets to school, it has to be powered down and in her book bag the entire day.
I thought that was the whole world.
No, it's just South Carolina law. It's a great law. Hey, Deb. Yeah, but okay, you say whatever. Let me ask you this.
Okay.
No. I want you to be honest, honey. I want you to be totally honest.
Okay.
It's been over a month now since this law changed.
Okay, I know what you're going to say.
How do you feel about the fact that you don't have access to your phone during the day?
Well,
honestly,
they wouldn't have let us even if this law weren't a thing. Like they wouldn't have let us put your phone away because we were teaching,
But during study halls and during the day and lunch, you guys had your phones out.
No.
Yes, I've seen stuff that you post during lunch with your friends.
No.
Yes, I have. Not now, back then.
It's not true.
Before the law, yes, I saw you showing selfies during lunch. And other kids did too. And even you said that I like it better now that I don't have to have my phone during lunch. Because people are talking. What are you doing? You didn't say to me you like it better without your phone?
I did, but I never took photos at lunch. I never did that.
You're fired.
I've never done that before.
She's a liar.
Why are you lying for them?
Thank you, Jessica.
He's lying to you guys.
They have access to their phones. God forbid something happens. It's there. They just can't use them.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
That ding.
That ding meant somebody subscribed.
Oh, it's because of me.
So thank you for subscribing. I appreciate you. Our students have pouches to put their phones in. It's glorious. We say that we won't use phones in school. I don't know. I like it. I don't want them to. It shouldn't even be a consideration. Do you pass notes in school?
Only if you need to.
Well, obviously, only if you need to.
Most people just talk mouth words.
Right, but
what are you saying?
But if you wanted to say something to someone across the room, you can't yell during class. Have you ever passed a note up?
I just go like this.
So you've never passed a note up in your life? Wow.
Other people, I've seen other people.
Okay, you've seen other kids pass notes?
Like once.
Once or twice.
Like I've never.
You want to know what fear is?
The teacher reading it aloud to the whole class.
Has it ever happened?
No.
Oh, see, it happened with us.
Yeah.
Teacher would say, if it's so important, pass the note up and we'll read it.
She's not going
to tell on herself. She would. This one would.
Yeah.
This one would tell on herself.
If I like, what? Like I would tell you.
Yeah, you would.
If some okay.
And then the girls would be really good at folding the notes in such a way that as a guy, I couldn't even open the damn thing. They'd be like folded like origami.
It's because
Cleo, they do your thank you, Bobby Stevens, for the stars. Appreciate it.
I would say thank you in sign language.
How do you say thank you in sign language? This.
Oh.
Thank you. What were we just saying? Cursive. She took cursive in school.
Oh yeah, in 3rd grade.
3rd grade. How is your cursive?
Horrible.
Horrible. Why is it horrible?
Because we don't practice it anymore.
Because they don't practice it anymore.
I only know how to write my name, and I still have problems.
Maybe we'll just do some work on cursive then. How's that sound?
Great.
Great. Don't use sign language. Oh God, passing notes was every day. It was every day. And if they got your note, they would read it out loud. She does know what cursive is. Like I said, here they taught it. They just didn't have a lot. Yep, just put your hand under your chin. It'll get you smacked. I miss my Walkman. There is a video out there where a flight attendant saw a Walkman underneath the chair of a plane, and she thought it was a BOMB. She is a daddy's girl.
Wait, that is so funny.
Teacher shorthand. I never learned shorthand either. I remember there was shorthand still in class when I was going to school. Shorthand was when you would take dictation as a secretary. You had to learn shorthand to be able to do it quickly. Does that answer your question?
No. I'm lost.
You're lost? Shorthand was a way to write where entire words would be symbols so that you could write it very fast when you're just taking notes.
I was.
So every word would like have a symbol.
Oh, like
so
Morse
instead
code?
of writing letters,
like
you
Morse code?
Not like Morse code. No, nothing like Morse code.
wait, what's that language that has symbols for?
Yes, every word had a symbol. That's right.
Okay.
What show are we almost at the end of that you love?
Oh, Wonder Years.
She is infatuated with the Wonder Years.
The
older one. Infatuated with the Wonder Years with Kevin Arnold. And she's just constantly like, is this what it was like when you were growing up? Now, Wonder Years takes place in the mid-60s through the early 70s. So a lot of, me, I was very young. I was born in 70. But it's still very much how we grew up, and she just loves watching it.
Like OMG is shorthand. Okay, like abbreviations kind of?
Yep. No.
Oh. wait, okay.
Like if I was trying to write shorthand.
OMG means oh my gosh.
Right,
like,
but let's say you said I'm going to the store. I might write this word might mean going to the store. That might be I'm going to the store.
Or like
and I just had to write 4 things instead of the entire thing.
Or like RN is right now.
No, it's symbols, not abbreviations. You're doing abbreviations.
But somebody said OMG is
somebody was wrong. Yeah, Wonder Years is awesome. We're almost done with that. And then when we're going to move on to moving into the 90s a little bit, she wants to watch Boy Meets World. What else did we watch that you liked? She loved Young Sheldon. Young Sheldon was also a throwback. Dude, do another dodgeball. I'm sure I will.
My bad.
They did say sort of.
MB is...
Sort of. Like OMG. Well, see, she lied.
What? No, they said OMG. What are you talking about? See, you keep lying to them.
Have your daughter check out Different Strokes? We will. 8 is Enough, we started watching. That too. 8 is Enough's a little adult. I didn't realize how adult it was. I started watching screening 8 is Enough and saw the first episode. And 8 is Enough, she's probably a couple years away. At least watching it with her parents.
She can't watch if he's gone.
Facts of Life, that's a good one.
Oh, I want
Family Matters, Step by Steps. Family Ties would be a good one. She likes watching the young Sheldon journey. What's interesting to her is seeing the kids start out at her age as they grow. Like Kevin started being like 11 or 12, and she gets to watch him grow. Same thing with young Sheldon. Same thing with Boy Meets World. And I think that's interesting for her.
Oh, yeah, we're watching Boy Meets World right now.
Have Cleo watch MASH. I didn't like it at her age. I don't know that she will like it anymore. Christine, that's awesome. I hope you're not forcing your 11 and 17-year-old to watch.
To watch what?
The live feed with her. One day at a time. What's going on, Nathaniel? Roseanne's a good watch. What are we talking about tonight? Double deliveries, double D's deliveries, everything. Alf eats cats. Could you imagine that today? Brady Bunch. Brady Bunch definitely. A little dated. Partridge Family definitely. Silver Spoon's a great idea.
Full House. I love Full House.
She loved Full House. Saw
I
that.
like Fuller House. Though.
She was not a fan of Fuller. Definitely likes Full. You'll like Punky Brewster. That's a good one. Good times.
Can you like write these down? Because there's so many.
I remember them.
I'll write these down. What's it called?
I remember.
What's it called?
These are shows I watched. I don't need you to.
If you remember the
Punky Brewster's a good one.
Punky Brewster.
Punky Brewster. Blossom is a great one. Good one. Mr. Belvedere.
Wait, what's the second one?
Blossom.
Blossom?
Blossom.
I know how to spell
Oh,
blossom.
I'm sorry.
It's like so easy. Okay.
Thank you, V.
Yeah, Full House.
Married with Children. Full House. Yep. Silver
I don't
Spoons.
think you like Full House. But I like Full House.
Mork and Mindy. Those are great. Like, Who's the Boss is a good one because there's kids in it. Just based on her age, that she will like the ones with the kids in it a lot. Happy birthday, Ryan.
Saved by the Bell.
Saved by the Bell.
Is
Star Trek TNG. She's watched Star Trek with me.
Nothing.
She's not a fan, but she's watched it with me.
Barney Miller, what's that?
Nah, that's more adultish. Doogie Howser, we watched. Again, dude, if you guys go back and watch, do you know Amy Farrah Fowler from Big Bang Theory? The one that marries...
The blonde one or the...
The one that marries Sheldon.
Oh, yeah, I know.
She's Blossom.
Mm-hmm.
Little House on the Prairie, I won't watch with her until she's old enough to drive.
Wait, what's Doogie Howser?
Doogie Howser, we started watching, but then there's... Doogie almost gets hit on... We watched one episode and I turned it off because he's getting hit on by a 30-year-old doctor woman who tried... Mm-hmm. Donnie and Marie's good one.
I remember that. He's the doctor.
He's the young doctor.
He's
but
like 16, 17.
yeah, it gets... I mean, we watched it at their age, but they can't watch it at their age. It's just different.
Give Me a Break.
Give Me a Break is a great one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Good song, too. Give Me a Break is an awesome one. I had such a crush on Samantha. Growing Pains. Wonder Years, we're on season 5 already, Mel. We're almost done with it.
It's my favorite.
It's her favorite.
Except the sister is really annoying me.
Except the sister's really annoying. She is. So is the older brother, Wayne.
Wayne annoys me too.
Facts of Life.
Mm-hmm.
My Two Dads. It's not what you think.
Oh, wait. Is that the one with the two dads and the son that's like singing?
It's the 2 dads and a daughter.
Oh.
I remember White Shadow.
Should I write down My Two Dads?
No. Bionic Woman and the $6 Million Man, definitely.
We watched those.
We watched those. We have the box set of the Bionic Woman.
White Shadow, Family Ties.
Family Ties is a good one.
Dang.
Charles in Charge. Did they ever watch Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood? Not much. I don't think.
What?
She was more into the Disney Junior stuff.
Oh, Wonder Woman we watched.
Wonder Woman we watched. Buffy, I was a huge Buffy fan.
Jessica, that is
Mikhail's Navy.
real. That's
Why not Little House? If Little House on the Prairie, we think of in our memories of being this wholesome family, just happy, wholesome life on the prairie, on the frontier. Dude, I started digging into Little House on the Prairie for content. The stuff that happens on that show, it's good, but to Wirehead's point, it's a little trauma on the prairie. It's bad. The banana split, Sliders I loved. Little House on the Prairie, dude, the things that happen on that show would shock you if you don't remember. It was amazing. Great show. But the things that happened are PG-13, maybe more. Maybe mildly R.
Cosby Show.
Quantum Leap.
Quantum Leap.
Quantum Leap you wouldn't like so much.
Okay.
Oh,
Jessica, I can relate to that.
Oh, you can relate to that, huh?
Yep.
Oh, excuse me. I love Little House too, don't get me wrong. It was, but let's see, I mean, the things that happened down there, right? I mean, just one example. Wasn't it, who was smoking in the basement of the blind school? Was it her brother? I don't know. Someone was smoking in the basement of the blind school, lit the blind school on fire, and we watch all the little blind people die in a fire. And you see the woman holding the baby as Albert. Albert was smoking in the basement and burnt down the blind school. And the next day, you see Michael Landon walking around, and oh, look, here on the ground is the dead baby. And he picks up the charred remains of the dead baby and cradles it. I mean, it's, my God.
What's Laverne and Shirley?
Laverne and Shirley.
Oh, Laverne.
Laverne and Shirley's a good one.
Laverne and Shirley.
And only Lenny is still alive. Everybody's gone.
What? That's like Golden Girls.
Kids Incorporated.
Except she's not alive anymore. What's her name? Betty White.
Betty White. None of the Golden Girls are alive anymore.
Yeah.
They're all gone. Every one of them. Of course, Happy Days. Ugh. No, the blind kids lived. It was the baby in Alice Garvey that died. True, so far as we know. Either way, that scene with Alice Garvey in the window smashing out the glass, and a little bit of trivia, I guess that was supposed to be breakaway glass, and it wasn't. So she actually, the actress almost got injured breaking that glass. Horrible, 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 horrible. And then don't even get me started on Sylvia. If you guys don't know, just Google search Sylvia, Little House on the Prairie. I remember the Plague episode, 18 season 1. Plague episode. Yeah, there's the Plague episode. There's the episode where Mrs. Ingalls cuts her leg, and you think that she nearly has to cut it off because she's going to die of infection. I think Albert was addicted to morphine at one point. Alf's a good show. Family Matters, you'd like.
Family Matters.
Yep. Got it. Punky Brewster in the Fridge episode. Absolutely. Good night, Doreen. Well, and it's actually about that time for us, too.
What?
It's almost 10.
I don't even have school tomorrow.
I know you don't have school tomorrow. Has your daughter seen Mork and Mindy yet? Thank you for the tip. I appreciate that. Hasn't seen Mork and Mindy yet. Definitely something we can watch. Yeah, Sylvia was traumatizing. But I mean, and she's 13. Yeah, Kimberly Clark, exactly. I don't know that that's an episode. And it was a mime, no less. A mime. Guys, you can't make this stuff up. It was god-awful. Little Trauma on the Prairie, without a doubt. Small Wonder, I just started showing her.
Dukes of Hazzard. I know that name.
Dukes of Hazzard's a good one. Ma Cutter Leg was your favorite. And then just for the hell of it, we'll mention and end on Mary waking up in the middle of the night and screaming, "Paw, paw, I've gone blind." From the moment on, after seeing that episode, I thought it was fairly common to just lose sight. You know, scarlet fever, whatever. I remember closing my eyes and walking around the house as a regular thing, just practicing being blind. And I've talked about it. I'm not the only one. We practiced going blind because of Little House on the Prairie.
I have school tomorrow. Oh.
I remember when I was in 8th grade, came in and told the class about the Challenger blowing up. A lot of us watched it live.
I have school tomorrow, but they're on Facebook. I did not know young people have Facebook. You know.
Dukes, yes, it was normal TV. Remington Steele, good one.
Crazy.
All right, guys. A little bit of housekeeping for those that subscribed today to help me get a little closer to my goal. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Those that sent stars, the tips over on YouTube, appreciate you guys so much. You did that as well, Michael. Nice. Live schedule this week. Tuesday, I probably will jump on live for a little bit. I won't be at work because we have a YouTube function here in Charlotte that I've been invited to. Friday, we will be live at 5:30 p.m. on YouTube with the 3-view mirror. And that's about it. We're off to go watch the wedding episode of The Wonder Years.
Wait, what's Knight Rider's the 18?
Knight Rider is the car with Kit that I talk about, the black car that's got the computer in it. And you're like, big deal, it's a talking car.
Oh, yeah. I didn't like that. No.
I know. Kalinita, Michael. Best money you can spend. Ronaldo, thank you. I appreciate it. All right, guys. Go keep sharing videos, checking videos. I appreciate you guys so much. Rockford Files for sure.
I need my beauty suit.
Need your beauty suite too. Good night, guys. Thank you so much. Now, end here.
Good night.
And here. And how do I end here? Here?